Hello everyone, welcome back to our JavaScript series. In the last video, we learned how to set up JavaScript and understand its syntax. Now it's time to dive into one of the most fundamental concept in programming. First is variable and second variable and constant. So if you ever wondered how your program remember your data, so this video is for you. So grab your editor and let's start coding, right? So the first thing is let me create a file first. So we'll say var and const, right, dot js. So now think of a variable. So the question is, what are variables? So think of a variable as a container that hold information you want to use later. Suppose you have stored something and you're going to use it that we are going to you are going to use this tomorrow, day after tomorrow, like this. So for example, if you want to store a person, name, age, or score, use a variable. So what we're going to do, we are going to see an example here. So we'll say let name equals to talk, right? And then we are going to say let age equals to, you can say, then we are going to print it console.log, and we'll say age, say name, age, right? And then so let's say name is, so let's run it and we'll see. It's a node where const js. So we get array block and 25, right? Now you can now use this variable anywhere in your program and they act like reusable storage boxes of boxes for your data. So this is how you declare variable, and you basically, variable is basically, that's how you store the information, right? And there are so let's switch to the how we declare variable. So there are three way to declare variable. So so the let me write it here. So three way we declare variable, right? Let me write that out. Say var let and const, right? So these are three way you declare variable in a JavaScript. So the first one is var, right? So the old one, before 2025, 2015, we used var for everything. So for example, let me say var city equals to, we're going to say Delhi, right? And then we are going to write this console.log, and we'll say city, right? But the important thing you have to remember here, the var has some issue. It's a function scoped and can be redeclared accidentally, which can cause bug. So let me run this first. Yeah, we can see the Delhi, right? And as I've said that it's a function scoped and can be redeclared accidentally, or yeah, which can cause bugs. So for example, let's say var x equals to 10, we'll say var x equals to 20, right? I will say console.log, this is going to be x, right? So what will be the value of x? It will be 20. So let's run it and see. Say 20, and it can cause the bug in your entire code, and you will be confused to figure out why it is giving error. So remember, where is basically function scoped and can be redeclared accidentally, right? So the modern way is the using let. So this is introduced in ES6, Let is basically block scoped and cannot be read declare in the same scope. So let me say let score equals to 100, right? So this is 100, and what we're going to say, score equals to 150. I'll explain why I'm doing this. So let score equals to 200. Say, so see, we are getting error here. It's a cannot redeclare block scope variable, right? As I've earlier mentioned, you can update the value, but you cannot redeclare it. Right? So let me remove this and everything. And so we'll say console.log. We are going to say score, and let me just copy this to paste it here so that we can see the both output. Now let me clear this and see, we got 100 and 150. So variable is basically function scoped, let is block scope, and the third one is constant, that values never change. So if a variable should always stay the same, if I mean, I wanted to say, if a variable, you know that this value is or this name is not going to change forever, so you have to use const. Like for example, there is a value that pi, right? So we'll say const pi equals to 3.14159. So this is the value of pi, and if you want to assign the value of pi equals to, we'll say 2.34 something, you cannot assign it, right? This will not, this will give you an error. So this is the bad way to use it. So const is a great for constant like mathematical value, configuration key, or anything that should not change. So let me write this console.log and then say pi. So scope and best practice. So the yeah, scope and best practice. So now let's talk about the scope, which means where a variable accessible in code. So the first one we have learned where as a function is scope, and you have to remember that if you declaring a variable and you are assigning some value, you cannot redeclare it, right? Otherwise it is going to give you an error, and it will be totally mess when you are writing a code of suppose thousand of line of codes, and will be fully messed. The second thing is let and const have a block scope only available inside the block, right? So 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 the best practice is use let for value that may change, use const for value that stay the same. Avoid using where in modern JavaScript. So whenever you are using ES6, avoid using where. It keeps your code clean, predictable, and less error prone. So now let's see the common mistakes that people usually make whenever they write the JavaScript code, right? So let me write down a multi-line comment so that I can write it here and I can show you what are all the common mistakes people make. So the first is using variable before declaring it. Suppose you write console.log and we say num, right? And the variable they are declaring the letter, right? So it's a equals to, you can say 10. You cannot do this. So this will give you an error, right? And the second thing is mixing var, let, and constant randomly. Stick to one constant pattern mostly. So I prepare mostly you should use let and const, and always give and the third thing is whenever you are declaring a variable, and this is for the not only JavaScript, this is for the every programming language. Whenever you are declaring a variable, give it a meaningful name so that you will not be confused, right? And clear names make your code easy to read and maintain. And yeah, and that's it for the that's it what that's everything what you need to know about variable and constant in JavaScript. Now you can store and manage data like a pro. whether it's number, string, or anything else. So in the next video, we are going to explore about data type in JavaScript, right? And that is the most important topic in any programming language, basically. What kind of data you can actually store in these variable. If this video help you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for the full JavaScript series, and comment below with the new thing that you learned today. So stick with me, and see you into the next one. Thank you.